fixes and linking pothole repairs directly to anti-pollution measures, change is possible. But for cleaner air, safer roads and fewer tragedies, action must finally match words. Joining us live at this point is Abhijit Sinha, Program Director, National Highway for Electric Vehicles. Gautam Mukherjee, Senior Journalist, joins the broadcast. Anand Arya, environmentalist, is also with us live. Anand, how big of a contributor to Delhi's pollution are potholes? How important is it to fix them, to fix the air in Delhi?
Uday, I think you have explained the whole background and the scenario very well, I must say. So there is not much for me to add, but I will only say that on an average, if one pothole is 1 square meter, you can imagine you're talking about 18,000 square meters, which is a huge area, huge area. And as you said, the dust is the main problem in this in NCR for the pollution. I would not blame the vehicular pollution today because there is no public transport. So therefore, perforce everyone, especially there is a monitoring, and then there is a system of reward and punishment. So unless and until we get into a 365-day mode of doing this, so I have still not heard neither from the Environment Minister nor from the Chief Minister of Delhi or the Environment Minister of Delhi that these are our targets for the next 365 days. And this is how these will be delivered on a monthly basis. I really don't see why these targets cannot be published into the newspapers for the knowledge of the public. Then why can't a report submitted there of the action taken report, the targets achieved, and the punishment awarded to the errant officials? So unless and until we do that, we are going to be talking the same thing. I mean, what I'm talking to you today, I talked to you from your channel 10 years ago. So, and potholes, of course, I mean, and they, as you said, I mean, they result in fatalities, they result in accidents, they result in injuries, and you know, the whole atmosphere is full of dust. Especially, I mean, you were talking about a city like Delhi, but let me tell you, there are two or three areas, I mean, on which I just happened to be driving during the last 1 month. I mean, there is hardly a surface. And this is where the heavy traffic is there. And then the wind brings it. I mean, it may not be in Delhi, but it may be in Noida, but the wind travels to Delhi.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll come back to you. Let me get in the others as well for their opening comments. Abhijit Sinha, what do you make of, you know, the statistics as far as potholes are concerned? How important is it to fill them as soon as possible? What kind of contribution do they have to making traffic hotspots, particularly in areas like Delhi and the metros of the country, Abhijit, and how serious are we about filling them timely?
I think you have given a very good start, and it's easy for me to take it forward from here, that when we commission a road, maybe on highway or maybe inside the city, we do a certain degree of geotagging, and then we do an approval. You can say geophotography, drone photography, or a physical photography. But do these roads, after commissioning, after first time pitching or whatever, you know, coverage has to be given on the pitch, do they remain like that? No, definitely not. There are multiple alterations. It happens. There are manual interventions. People sometimes open dividers. Sometimes there are individual local interests. This brings change in the design. If you look at potholes, they also come not at the time of commissioning the road, but after some time, after the wear and tear starts on the road, maybe rain and maybe some other reason. There has to be a data-driven profiling of a road when it was commissioned, and after wear and tear, what type of hole, how many holes has came, what type of deformation has happened into the hole. These potholes are not only difficulty for pollution, but they are also a very major uh, reason for accidents. And if you can recollect the data from 2022 to 2023, on overspeeding, if it is mixed with pothole, the majority of accident, over 70% in the city side, within cities, I'm not referring here highway, are due to road conditions, road designing and alternations, which were not originally done at the time of commissioning. So this different data set from the time when we commission and later when it gets deteriorated, this is something where we have started working, and I believe it is very important for us to take recommendations and a regular check what my earlier co-panelists said, that why these are not under a very consistent and persistent check, that what we created and what was started is not remaining as it is. Maybe a repair issue, a contractor issue, or maybe not knowing it. So a lot of companies with applications like taking a picture, uploading on app, they have given a significant amount of information for repair makers and repair vendors to come and do repair, but answers are still not satisfactory. The needle is not moving. It requires more stricter intervention to decide a turnaround time once when it is reported, maybe a pothole or maybe a change in any sort of somewhere where there was no entry or no opening. Sometimes people open that, they remove that boulder or dividers. These all are very, very difficult to handle when it is coming to road safety and road design. So I definitely agree that there is more intervention for technology need to be done, and we are definitely working in that direction with new set of data, but not as satisfactorily as required and expected by users.
Okay, let me get in Gautam Mukherjee as well. Gautam, for you as a commuter, as a citizen, how much of a menace are these potholes on Delhi streets, on the country's roads when you move around? And what would you hope will be the outcome of our discussion and the outcome of the promises now that the Delhi government is making and the centre too on filling potholes as soon as possible?
You know, filling potholes is at best good for a season, one season. The reason is most of them fall into areas which are low-lying and have standing water on them during the monsoons. When that happens with macadam, it just lifts all the tar and bitumen and the small stones and makes it very easy for the pothole to form, particularly because of the very heavy vehicular traffic. So you'll find that wherever the area is low-lying, there are potholes. And this is true on the highway, this is true as it passes through various towns and villages, and it is true all over Delhi. Now, what is the remedy? One is, for example, you would have seen this happening very near the Lodi crossing, the the crossroads there, where there is a Sai Baba Mandir. That is a low-lying area just outside the Sai Baba Mandir. And for years together, it would deteriorate during the rainy season into a series of potholes, or almost like a continuous pothole, like the previous speaker said, that there are no surfaces sometimes. Then what they did was they put cobblestones. And ever since they put cobblestones, which, is a throwback to an earlier era where you had horses and so on, but they are stones and they're very solid. And if they're laid properly, there are no more potholes. It does not happen in the rainy season or any other. So that's one for short stretches which are very heavily utilized. Another is, of course, concrete roads. Now, for example, one of the national highways between Rampur and Haldwani it was riddled with potholes. I used to often take that on my way to Nainital. Now, once they concreted it, it's a 4-lane highway now. It used to be a 2-lane, horror before. Once it was concreted, it's very nice. It's still being, they're putting in a lot more flyovers, more roads going in different directions. But concrete roads, they are expensive, but they don't form potholes so easily. In the West, where you have, very extremes of temperature, it's hot in the summer and freezing in winter, they can crack. And quite often, the remedy is to put heating under the roads by way of hot pipes, hot water and such like,
Okay.
to prevent the concrete from cracking. That is really not so much our problem. So concrete and cobbles, you can fill potholes, but it's a waste of money, waste of time, and it'll be the same situation in one season.
Yes.
Uday.
Also, Anand, this just shows us that we must have a very comprehensive strategy to tackle pollution and to tackle the deteriorating AQI. There are many causes for it, not just one. There need to be, solutions for each of those causes. Not just one, not just two, not just three, but each of the causes. Only then will we have a comprehensive plan, and only then will we begin to see differences made on ground, isn't it, Anand?
You see, Uday, if you see a policy statement prepared by CAQM in 2022 does lay out the strategies which are more or less akin to what the EPCA did in 2017. But that's all on paper. I had to, I suffered from a very serious bout of pollution, sort of related illness about 3 weeks back. And thereafter, I was so angry that I had wrote an open letter to the Prime Minister and the Chief Justice of India. What am I suggesting? And the solution is very simple. Of course, these are heavy tasks, difficult tasks, but these are simple solutions. This is not rocket science. You see, all that we need, number one, we need the targets to be out in the open, number one. Number two, we need to have the people who are responsible for this and who can be held accountable. Number three, has to be a regular monitoring and dissemination of that information. And again, it's a matter of extremely good governance. What we see in the corporate world, I think, in terms of the governance, has to get into the government. Now, especially using the technology, the governments can control. Let us just talk about the potholes. Of course, the potholes will come wherever the bitumen roads are there, and the slope is not proper, and the water collects. Then these things will almost always happen. And therefore, how do you do it? After all, in MCD, there are engineers, there are overseers. They all have a certain area.
Yes, and filling them is important. Filling them is important, Abhijit. But what about accountability for those who have built these roads where these frequent potholes appear? Shouldn't there be penal action too? Is that step two? Step one, of course, fill the potholes. Step two, hold those accountable who cause them, and especially who cause them frequently on the same roads. Abhijit Sinha.
And on top of it, actually,
Abhijit Sinha.
How do you make sure that you are getting a perfect and unbroken chain of data? The kind of length we have in India, the road length, it is not possible to do a manual check, manual supervision. So unbroken chain of data is now what we have started on National Highway EV. In 2024, NHAI also requested Prime Minister's Office for Highway Corridor Management Unit, and it was established also in April 2024. So now more of these, which are taking care of the dividers, the in point and exit point, any deformation, plantation, what kind of dust and what kind of possible structural deterioration which can expect after the commissioning of road. So these all are technical data. The enforcement has to be data driven. You also given a very good point that how do we deal with pollution? When we are talking about vehicle should enter into city or not, we are again dealing with same problem. Are we expecting police personnel to stand on the entry of city, or we should go one step ahead on the enforcement by disabling the fast tag of those vehicles which are not allowed to enter into city like Delhi, into Grab 4 situations. So it is moving slowly from individual and personal, you can say individual human intervention to a technical enforcement. AI enabled, it might be fast tag disabled, it might be a geo special. So what sort of adoption we will be able to take into technology for these enforcement is going to decide what we are going to get in tomorrow's time.
All right. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us. We've run totally out of time. Let's slip into a short break.